Hola, this is Alex. Welcome back to my channel. And this is week 9 of my Wegovy journey. Last week I lost 2.5 pounds. Always the same, can say it every week. Would prefer it to be more, but it's not, and I'll take it, and I'm glad of it. But actually, when you think about it, that's 25 pounds now in 8 weeks, because this is the beginning of week 9. So in 8 weeks, and I don't think that's bad at all. In fact, I think that's bloody brilliant. So yeah, absolutely, I'll take it. And I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about this week, because other than saying my 2.5 pounds and my weight loss, I thought, well, I've got nothing to say really. And then I realised that actually I've got lots to say, lots to say, because things have changed quite a bit. My mother said to me after watching last week's video, she said, "Oh, it was awful to see you so despondent." And I really threw me a bit, because I thought, well, I wasn't despondent at all. So I watched a little bit of it back, and I can see what she means. I was definitely quite flat. So I thought about it, and what I realised was that last week was the first week on my on the 1 milligram. So I'd taken it on the Monday, and then I did my video on the Tuesday. And I'm definitely feeling differently on this higher dose. I'm feeling side effects, which I haven't really, apart from the first couple of days, I haven't felt any. And by that, I mean, I have the slight nausea, which is a little bit like mild car sickness, a little bit lightheaded, and very little energy. So I thought about it, and I think that I quite like it. It's just a stupid thing to say, really, because obviously I was losing weight and I didn't have the side effects, and that should be the goal. But I was always a little bit worried that I wasn't doing it properly, or that I wasn't taking it right. But now I can feel the effects of the drug. I can actually feel it in my system. I'm a little bit comforted by that. I don't know how long that'll go on, and I'm hoping that, I'm assuming that as you get used to this particular dosage, because I'm going to be on this dose for a while now, I've got 4 months supply of it, I'm assuming that it'll diminish a little bit. But certainly last week, without me realising it, I was wanting much less to eat, and differently. I wanted to eat differently. So in the last couple of months, what I've been eating is, I've been having one small meal a day, and then sort of a little bit of breakfast, and then maybe something little later on in the afternoon. But I just don't want a meal. And by that, all I was cooking was, I cook everything from scratch. So I even if it's lasagna, it's a little portion of homemade lasagna, or if it's curry, it's made with all vegetables and spices. If it's chicken, Mexican chicken, I cook it a lot as well. So it's just basically nothing bad for you at all in there. But I would be making a relatively small meal out of it, with a bit of salad, or with whatever it might be, a bit of rice, a few oven chips maybe even. But as soon as it goes on a plate, however big it is, it represents a meal to me. And I just wasn't fancying anything like that. And more so even this week. So last week it was kind of building. And then this week I took my second injection of the 1 milligram yesterday. And I'm yesterday and today, so far today, what's it now? Midday, 12:30, midday. I'm just not interested in food at all. If I can have something, like pick something up and have it small in my hand, then that's great. I don't want bread. Bread I find really kind of heavy and not at all interesting. I love crusty bread, but I haven't wanted anything like that. So it's definitely, my eating has, what I want to eat and how I'm eating has completely shifted. And when I am eating, then I'm thinking, oh, I don't want any more of this. I'm having half again. So I'm eating very little. I don't calorie count, but I would be, I don't even know how I would do it now, but I'm pretty sure I'm not having many calories. So of course the lightheadedness and the tiredness comes from that. I'm sure, I'm not eating enough. Trying to drink more water. So anyway, yeah, that's really how I've been feeling. I've been feeling very differently. And I suppose the question is, am I happy to go on like this, or am I better off going down to the lower dose again? Because obviously I could split it to half dosage. but I'm quite happy with it at the moment. I'm going to keep going. I'm not losing any more weight like this, but maybe I will now if I'm not eating anymore, but we'll see. It's all an experiment. And I'm finding this unknown experimentation of it quite exciting. Who knows? We'll see. But I suppose that, again, that's the question I have for everybody this week as well. How have you felt? Have you hit? Well, I feel I've hit a tipping point. I feel that before that, the dosage was enough to affect me to a certain extent, to get rid of a lot of the food noise, a lot of the cravings, but I was still bringing with it all of the baggage that I've been carrying for years, my attitudes to food, what I think of as good and what is bad. I've talked about this in past videos. I was bringing all that to it, and I was finding it very hard to shift. But this last sort of 8 or 9 days, 8 days, I feel like I've tipped over into the other place where I'm forgetting that now, and I'm somewhere. Somebody sent a comment last week, and they said that food has now become more about nourishment than enjoyment, in response to my previous video, and that's exactly what it is. But even the nourishment, I don't want it at all. Don't think it's necessarily a good thing, but I quite like it as well, because obviously the one thing the baggage I'm still bringing is that obsession with losing weight. Even if I've lost the obsession about food, I've still got the obsession about losing weight. So it's all part of the journey, and it's all things that I'm learning as I go along. And I just would really like to know what everybody else is finding. Did you reach a tipping point where you suddenly you felt that you'd shucked a lot of your old mindset? And I don't mean the food, I don't mean any of that. As I say, I've been literally from going from one person to another in a way. That's how extreme it feels. And I was talking to somebody else about something else the other day, and I was sort of thinking, well, it's kind of like learning a language. I remember my mother years ago, she said to me, I wonder if people who speak different languages, when they're speaking their second language, do they think in that language, or do they still think in their native tongue, but have to translate it and then it comes out? And I suppose the tipping point for something like that into fluency is when suddenly you don't have to translate it into from your mother tongue into another one. You think in that tongue. And that's how I feel I am with this at the moment. I feel that I've passed from learning to fluency, or starting to stray into fluency. My brain and my body have kind of been reprogrammed. Who knows what will happen in the coming weeks? Whether or not I'll adjust and I'll become used to the dose. So it'll be a different. Maybe it'll be different again. Maybe it's not that it'll be going back. Maybe it'll be different again. But I would just be really interested to hear from people who have already gone past this stage into the next phase, how they felt and what they experienced. I just think it's really interesting, this whole thing. God, it's a wonderful thing. Okay, well, that's all I'm going to say for today. And I'm going to go in the pool. I'm dripping with sweat. It's so hot. It's been cold here. Well, no, it hasn't been cold here at all. But we were supposed to have a storm at the weekend, and it never came to anything. So it was a little bit overcast, a little bit cooler. But now it is absolutely, what is it? I think it's probably about 30 degrees at 12:30. So I'm going to go for a little swim. And I hope you all have a lovely week. And please do send your comments. I'm really grateful for them. It does help me. It sparks the thought process, as well as helping my process. So thank you ever so much. And I hope you're getting something from this as well. And I shall see you next week. Bye.